Welcome back. We're here to discuss Crystal Palace's business in the summer window. Barney, Wilfried Zaha going back to Palace is obviously the main story. What did you make of that one?
I think it's a good one for all involved. You know, he was largely responsible for getting them into the Premier League in the first place. Went to Manchester United, that hasn't really worked out for him. But coming back there, he's already said he feels comfortable, made a dream start, scoring that late equaliser against Newcastle. Fans will be delighted about it. He's delighted about it. I think it's a great one for all involved.
Pascal, what about deadline day? Obviously, Neil Warnock coming in, made a few signings. What did you make of their business on the final day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure the fans will be entirely convinced with the Warnock appointment. Obviously, he has been out of work for a while, didn't do that well in the Championship with Leeds, but he's come in and he's made a couple of good signs. I mean, Kevin Doyle, I wasn't too sure about that one. Like, he's been in the Championship now and he hasn't done too much, but I think James McArthur's a good one in midfield. I mean, there was Leicester were interested in him. He's had a really good year last year for Wigan, and he's definitely a great player in the middle, both going forward and defensively.
Do you think the price was fair? Was it 7 million? That's a fair price? Or?
I mean, players from the Championship, the sort of fees they were commanding this window when they were getting poached from Premier League clubs, some of the fees were crazy. So I think for 7 mil, it's not the worst sign.
Yeah. But what about defensively? They brought in Martin Kelly, Hangeland, players who know the Premier League. Kelly, he's a good player, etc. Injuries at Liverpool, etc. But what did you make of their defensive?
Well, defensively, that's where they succeeded last season, wasn't it, under Pulis? I think it depends how Warnock plays. If he plays like they did under Pulis defensively, then Hangeland is a very good signing. I think he's a strong defender. He's a Premier League player. Kelly running a first team, I think that'll do him good as well. Both good signings, but it's more about organisation with Palace defensive wise, so we'll wait and see how that pans out.
Pascal, what about departures? Obviously there wasn't too many, but Glenn Murray's the major one. What do you make of that one?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't lose too many players, like you say. I mean, Glenn Murray, he was really unfortunate because he was their top scorer when they got promoted, top scorer in the whole league in the Championship when they got promoted, and then he was sort of injured last year, couldn't really get in the team. So, I mean, and I'm not entirely convinced that he is a Premier League striker. Like, he's fantastic in the Championship, good at sort of all areas in attack. But I don't think he's the worst loss for them. I mean, they've got a number of strikers now, so I think it's an okay move, him moving to Reading.
What would you give him out of 10, overall for the window?
I think a 7. I don't think they lost anyone particularly important, and bringing in players like Zaha and Hangeland, they're players who should definitely improve them.
Barney?
Yeah, I think they've done very well. And if you don't count the Pulis loss, I'll give them a 7 as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go 7 as well. I think the Zaha one's a big one, isn't it? His talent wasn't really in question. It was just that environment, isn't it, etc. So, good window for Palace. Thanks for joining us.